next summer. So I've got a lot of time on my hands, and I've started to dive into. I've gone into the pace more be Gator community a little bit, but I'm very new. I'm just self-teaching myself. Just I've always been interested, but I haven't pulled the trigger on anything really yet. So
So you're do traveling nursing? Is that kind of what your
I
model is? Or-
I work in open heart surgery. I run the bypass machine.
Oh,
So I
wow.
have a very unique, it's not, I'm not the surgeon by any means, but it's not something that you hear from everybody. So whenever I just say I'm the guy that keeps the patient, stops the heart and keeps him alive so the surgeon can do his thing.
Nice. Yeah, I have a couple people that's in my program that are traveling nurses, and another one's anesthesia. She does
Hmm.
that, you know,
Hmm.
as well. So medical
Yep.
field. She does really well. She tapped into, she's in Northern Virginia. She tapped into the medical community of having them invest in some of her real estate deals now.
Oh,
So
cool.
she's really built that out. Yeah, she's got, and now she's going into mobile home parks. So
Oh,
she's
yeah.
really kind of,
That
yeah.
seems to be a popular thing.
Yep. So it's
Seems-
kind of it's growing across. So you're in the seller financing homes group. Is that how you kind of connected to us? You must be. You must be in the large group, 181,000 members over there.
Yeah, I'm in the Gator method group. That's where I started. It's more of it's kind of like the step down from sub two. It's more of a connectors group.
Yeah, it's transactional funding in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That type of thing. So we got Matt. Matt, how you doing, man? I can't hear you, Matt. We can't hear you. And I know I had a problem with my mic, so I'm probably on a different speaker than normal. So I did push this over live on Facebook over there too. So Matt's our maestro over here. If he can kind of jump in there. He's got his purple hat with his purple background.
So I can't see anybody, but
You can't see him.
Uh-oh.
Um,
I
I'm
don't see.
here, but can you hear me?
Oh, there he is.
we
Yeah,
can
and he's
now.
got a purple background.
You're not hearing me from this mic though, man.
I had the same problem. You're not hearing me from my mic.
I had to redo Zoom. Zoom had a completely big update, and I guess it took forever to update.
Yeah,
I was on
like
Zoom.
here, I'll even go over. Can you hear me? Testing one, two, three.
You
Oh,
sound
good.
good.
I'm on the good mic now. I unplugged it and plugged it back in up here in the top part.
In doubt.
So that's good. So how you been, Matt? I haven't talked to you in a little bit. We didn't do last week because I was in Greece.
How was
Last
Greece?
week I was in Greece.
Was it good?
I was very disappointed.
Oh. Have you been to Greece before?
I'd never been to Greece before. That was my first
Oh,
time,
why
Oh,
were you
well,
disappointed?
and probably my last time.
Oh,
I guess not too many people have said that. What happened?
It's just it's very disappointing. Have you been to Italy? No. So I love Italy. Italy by far is still the best place I've been, and I've been all over the world. But Italy is just the culture, the food, the historic, the Colosseum, the Vatican, everything's just so. And I was thinking, okay, all right, you know, the Romans were after, the Greeks were before the Romans in history. So I was like, all right, this would be kind of cool. Everything was just so dirty, filthy,
Uh,
dirty everywhere you went. It kind of looked like everything was built like in the 60s and nothing's been updated. You're going into the monuments and you see people sitting there shooting needles and they're putting needles in between their toes.
thanks.
So it was, the people were nice. I mean, they're definitely nice, but they just, from an economic point of view, they're not as but I didn't do all the islands. I guess the Santorini Island was 7 hours away from where we are, and that's the part where everybody raves about. They always see the one photo of the beautiful blue water and all that. That's an island, a Greek island way down from Athens. We did go to the original Olympics stadium. That was kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, that was cool. So I mean, it was just I don't know. I guess my mindset, it was a little disappointing, and the prices were cheap. I mean, you can go out to a really good meal at a really cheap cost, so that was kind of good. So, but anyways, I don't know if you posted anything over in the Facebook group, Matt. I don't see anything over there yet.
I'm working on it. I was pulling it all up right as we spoke, just as you was talking about it.
So you went to Dallas, right? How was that trip in Dallas? I was actually supposed to be going to Dallas next week for the for the No Expo.
It
Any
was awesome. It was awesome. Just a
Yep.
bunch of YouTubers. So
Okay.
got to learn a bunch about YouTube and networking, and I go there for the networking and all that. So because I
Yep.
do some other YouTube side of things. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was good.
So nice, nice. Yeah. Where was it at in Dallas?
Um, Irving Convention Center. So like Irving, in between the both airports, right in the middle of both airports.
Got it. That
So
one airport's a monster, isn't it?
it's giant. I got lost driving around it.
It is a monster. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
usually that's the one I fly into because usually I go to I was invited to speak at Note Expo this year. It's another it's a big there's two big seller financing note conferences I tend to go to every year, and that's another big one, and I usually speak at them. But this year I didn't know when I was going to be coming back from being out of the country, so I didn't want to lock myself into it because I knew I was going to Greece, and but I ended up going a little in advance, so that's cool.
There you go. Okay. You ready to get started?
We are. Let's roll.
All right. I know we took off last week, so sometimes the week after, sometimes it's kind of quiet. So the email is out. We got people over here on Facebook. So guys, welcome if you're on Facebook. Welcome in. If you guys would like to join us over here on Zoom, I put the chat in the link in the chat. So feel free to click on that and join us over here on Zoom. This is a time for you to get your answers about seller financing, creative financing. Mark here has some crazy experience. And when I mean crazy experience, um, I want to say this. I am 30 years old, or I'm 32 years old. He's been doing this for 30 years. So he's seen it all. He's been through all the markets. He knows what's going on. He's basically done every deal out there to man when it comes to seller and creative financing. So this is your time to shine by asking questions to Mark. If you need an answer, he's probably or if you have a question, he probably has the answer. So that was the right way to say that.
Yeah, that was
So,
good. Nope,
Mark,
that was good. So we had we had our Zoom earlier today, and a lot of great questions came up, and I just want to kind of share some of them. So at 5:30 Eastern Standard, we do our the group weekly coaching session on there with the members in the community there that in the private community. So, one of the guys had a deal that was ready to he was going to sell on seller financing. He was going to transfer deed, but he was worried about the due on sales clause.
okay.
And so for you guys that don't know what a due on sales clause is, I'm going to ask Collins. Collins, do you know what a due on sales clause is?
I don't. Say it slow. That sounds, sorry, say it all slow.
Due on sales, the due
Due
on
on
sales
sale?
clause.
No. I've never
Okay.
heard of it.
So what happens is when a lender provides a loan to a borrower slash homeowner, if the loan is transferred from the seller to a new homeowner, the lender or a new buyer, if you will, and they keep the existing without paying that mortgage off, the lender can call the loan due.
Oh,
Yep. So they can call the loan due on that. So that's what a due on sales clause is. Um, so now he was afraid to do his subject to deal that he was going to, and it was his own property. And this is where I'm like, it's not that big of a deal, but he was worried about the loan being called due. If the loan's called due, it's a very easy process to kind of get that resolved. It's a simple process. You work with a lender. There's different strategies that you can kind of go back into and change around. I told him he's probably should have done like an agreement for deed type of strategy, but he end up because he became making it a little bit more complicated for his buyer left and went off to another property. So if you're the seller in this market, you want to make sure that you're making things smooth as possible, easy as possible for your buyer, because the buyer's just gonna, if you're gonna make it complicated, they're just gonna move on. So don't over compliment things. Compliment things, I have one of those things going on. So anyways, um, so just make it simple and easy for the buyers if you're having a property that you're selling. And this is one of his properties, but you know, it was a 7-bedroom home. And I'm like, what do you do? Dude, you should be jumping on pad split. Pad split, you should be all over that. Pad split's an amazing model, especially if you own a property. So I love buying properties through seller financing, and I have a couple at pad split. So pad split is they work great in a C plus market and a B minus, where excuse me, I'm gonna have to take. That's one thing about when I travel now, I catch colds really easy. So whenever, if I don't sleep long enough, you know, 2 years ago this time I was going through a little bit of a chemo issue, and now my body gets affected by it. So
That'll do it.
yeah, but I'm good now.
You look healthy.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So now my immune system, whenever I travel, I always get colds now. So anyways, so pad split, what it does is you rent the bedrooms out on a per week basis, and you can check out their website. It's called Pad Split. So, and what they do is you take your living room, and if it's big enough, you can split it up into 2 more bedrooms. So he can end up getting 9 bedrooms renting. So he could cash flow really well off of that thing. So it's a pretty good model. Check it out. They handle a lot of that for you. So it's a great model. Like, especially if people that are trying to do some Airbnbs and they're struggling, look at Pad Split. But if it's in a high-end community, you're gonna have a problem having too many vehicles in that driveway. So you want to make sure you balance it correctly. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll see how many people are doing public transportation. So there's not a lot of vehicles in the driveway. All right. So go ahead, Matt. I'm going to be choking over here a little bit.
No, you're good. You're good. I just want you to get that out of your system. So when it comes to the seller financing portion, so say I have a house that I have to go through probate. What is the best way to handle that situation?
Well, probate attorneys are another great source of generating leads. Awesome leads. And I know your brother had one there that he was kind of working with. So the question is, when's the best time? The best time is try to get it before it hits probate. That's really the best time. Is do the transaction, set everything up, and if anything happens, you don't have to go through probate if you put things into a trust and you handle everything correctly. You can leave the people living there, but when something happens, at that point you can take it over, so you don't have to go through probate. Now, if you goes through probate, it can be a lot more challenging. It depends on how many beneficiaries slash heirs. So what I've normally found is if there's one child and they don't need the money, they're open to seller financing because they like that passive income. But if it's like 3 or 4, they tend to want to do a cash offer and take the money, go to Vegas for the weekend. That's kind of what I found. Now, if you can get them ahead of time, what I found, if it's a husband and wife, and one of the spouses is getting ready to pass, if you will, they're open to seller financing because they want to make sure their partner is set up so they get another monthly check coming in. It's like another social security check. That's what I found. Now, if it's one person and the other partner's already passed, typically they're going to want more of a cash. That's what I've noticed. So if it's a husband and wife, you can usually get a seller financing strategy through probate. You just go, depending if there's a mortgage there, if it's free and clear. Oftentimes, a lot of times they're free and clear, or unless they've been struggling at the end, they've taken a lot of debt out against the property. We've seen that. I mean, your brother ran into that situation where some liens and stuff, once they came out of the probate, he had a lot of debt and they started attaching things against the property. So that's why a lot of times, if you know somebody's getting to that situation, because like one of my lead sources, so I have over 600 bird dogs that feed me leads. Trashmen, they know the neighborhood, landscapers, snowplow removals, pool cleaners, pest control, Amazon drivers, Uber drivers, mailmen. Mailmen used to be great, but something must have happened. That's how I first started my first bird dog, was a mailman. He knew when people were getting served, a certified letter or something like that. But when I get my home run deals, my best deals are from hospice nurses. That's where I get a lot of my big deals currently. Um, so And we talked several times how a couple of them. So I bought like 13 units with 0 down from a hospice nurse. I bought many, I don't know how many hundreds of no down deals, single families from different hospice nurses, but I've done a total of over 3,000 single family homes over the years.
Okay.
So, but yep. So, anyways, hopefully that helped you a little.
Yeah. So say I'm ready to hop into real estate. I am. It's my first deal, right? What should I do? I want to do multifamily. I want to go dive head first. Should I start in multifamily or should I start doing single family? What should I do?
I always tell people start with a residential first. It's less moving parts. It's easier. Um, yes, you can do some multifamily. There's definitely creative strategies of doing that. A lot of times we do what's called a master lease option. That's a strategy that you can do where, you may have multiple units underneath. Let's say it's 10 units underneath. You do a master lease, so the master lease covers everything that falls underneath it. It's in a sense, it's almost like a rent to own. You can do, and I do it. That's what I call a sandwich lease option on residential. But when you get in multiple units, then that's called a master lease or master lease option. But typically, if I'm going to head to head oftentimes and they're pitching a subject to, I'm going to offset that and maybe pitch a sandwich lease option, and you don't have to worry about the due on sales clause sometimes. So I think if you're just starting out and you want to start doing, creative financing deals, I think the sandwich lease option is probably the best one, and you can get in with very little down. I mean, I got a deal I locked up for $100, and you can negotiate. Hey, I'm gonna do first month or last month, and I'm gonna take care of the property maintenance and repairs, and you pass that on to your end buyer. Allows you to sublet it. That's the safest because if anything goes bad, you're not destroying the seller's credit. You just give the property back to the seller. Versus a subject to, if you stop making payments, it's destroying the seller's credit and things can kind of get ugly. So, so I think that's probably one of the best places to do. Also, just calling, you for sale by owners, calling leasing agents or people that are renting, because a lot of times they're trying to sell, especially in this market condition. People are trying to sell their properties right now and they're having a hard time. They're sitting on the market. Like this gentleman I was talking about earlier, where he's been on the market for 120 days. He's open to a lease option now. But now we talked to him during our call and he's going to probably do a pad split because he's going to make a lot more money. But it's an easy way. Hey, would you be willing to rent the property to us for a few years? We close on it. We'll take care of the maintenance and repairs. You lock into today's price or even lower, and you sell it to your tenant buyer on a future price, what you think that property is going to be worth in about 4 or 5 years. Usually I'm bumping up about 10% over the as is value. Typically, that's a great place to start. For sale by owner, just call them up, ask them about the property. Hey, would you be willing to rent the property to us for a few years? We close on it. We'll take care of the maintenance repairs. That's one of the other things that's really good about it. Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah. Awesome. Guys, if you guys are just joining us, welcome in. Welcome in. This is a time for you to get your questions answered. So I'm not just the one asking the questions. You can feel free and drop a question in the chat or drop a question. Just unmute yourself and talk. Or if you're over on Facebook, go ahead and drop a question. This is a time for you to get your questions answered from one of the best real estate experts in the country. So if you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself and we'll get going from there. Anybody feel free. No pressure. Just kidding. There.
Hey Dan, how you doing? I see Dan up there. I see. Thanks for coming on camera. Dan, what part of the country are you in?
You're talking to me, right?
How you doing? What part of the country are you in?
I'm in Malabar, Florida.
Where in Florida?
I'm in Malabar, Florida.
Okay, very nice. Are you doing any type of real estate investing?
I'm trying to get into it. I've bought some houses in the past, some properties just for my own portfolio, but I haven't been like a flipper, actively trading in real estate.
Okay. It's a lot of fun, especially when you do
Yeah.
it part-time, especially when you do it
Well,
part-time.
I'm retired, so it's a part-time thing.
I get it. I don't think I would ever retire. I would constantly keep working, keeping myself mind going and getting out there and getting on the golf course, pickleball court. Pickleball is my main thing nowadays. I like doing that. And I cycle. So it kind of helps. And I've been so good. Where are you originally from? I don't think you're originally from Florida, are you?
Oh no, no, I started out in the West Coast and went in the Air Force for almost 28 years. Been retired since '89, so I'm an old geezer.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us. Do you have any questions?
No questions. I've been through a lot of real estate training and had a little bit of experience. I've dabbled in tax liens, tax deeds. I own a bank foreclosure property up in Alaska, so I've done a few things. I kind of skirt around the edges of the real estate market right now. I'm trying to do some excess proceeds from tax sales.
Yep. I mean, the market's really good right now. It's a buyer's market. Like I'm putting a lot of offers currently right out there. And actually it was a great one that fell in my lap, but I was taking off to Greece and I didn't have enough time to work on it. And time I get there, I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy some time. But I could have worked a deal, but this one it was just like I'm gonna spend some time with my other half and deals will come. The deals are there. You just gotta just make sure you have a good deal flow coming in so you can be selective on your deals and just don't do it. I see a lot of people that just start out and they just want to do a deal quickly and they jump right into it and do a deal and the deal is not a great deal. So just be very selective on the deal flow that you have coming in, you know. So just be cautious of that. You know. Hey
Well,
Matt,
I'm
go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say I just got a subscription to PropStream, and I'm trying to get into I don't know what you call it, motivation stacking, so to speak.
Good.
Distressed sellers.
Oh,
So looking for pre-foreclosures and liens and tax liens and I mean delinquent taxes and things like that. Homeowners with those kind of problems out of state.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, yeah. PropStream's a good software. We also use Deal Machine. So
Sorry, he, I'm done. I'm done.
oh, cool. Mark, you good over there?
I am. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Just
you're good.
saw something. Facebook. You know how Facebook can get.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir. All right. So, welcome in, Stephanie. Welcome in. I don't know who iPhone 12 Pro Max is, but welcome in. We're glad you're here. This is a time for you guys to get your questions answered by one of the top real estate experts in the country when it comes to seller financing, creative financing, whatever you want to call it. It's we're getting back in the groove of things. Mark was in Greece, and I was in the week before that. I was in Texas, so I know we were on while I was in Texas, but my internet was all messed up. So, Mark, so what's been the big real estate thing that's been going on right now? I mean, I saw that you're just talking about how it's starting to become a buyer's market, right? So,
It is. Yeah.
what's been big in it?
So, I mean, always, seller financing stuff is always, you know, just trying to find sellers that are motivated to sell. The so what I shifted a little bit more in a market where I'm starting to do a hybrid between a fix and flip with seller financing, almost like a hybrid burr type. So buying a properties now, going really just throwing really low ball offers, crazy low ball offers. You have nothing to lose, and then doing a really light rehab, and then instead of refinancing, I'm selling them off to physicians on seller financing, and then doing a splitting it. So they're gonna end up putting 30% down, right? And then I'm gonna do 20% second, and then remaining balance would be like the first, like 50%. And I'm gonna sell the note into the secondary market, the seller financing note. So I get my capital back and just kind of rinse and repeat. So, and then the second mortgage, I will end up holding myself and get that passive income coming from. So I'm going to make money, a little bit of money off the flip. And then I'm going to end up making money off of the cash flow of carrying the second mortgage note on that. So that's kind of something that I'm kind of focused on at the moment. But you just got to have a big network of buyers out it's willing, and it's helping the physicians because the physicians can get the depreciation and some of the tax write-off, so that kind of helps them. So that's one type of good strategy. But also it's just like this is a great time, and a lot of the members are doing a lot of sandwich lease options currently right now. Picking up, because a lot of times the reason why the lease options work is because, like, let's say for example Orlando, we looked at a deal in Orlando not too long ago where the new mortgage on it was going to be $700 a month more than what the market rent is. $700 more than what the market rent is. So as a lease option, you can go whatever the market rent is and say, hey, Mr. Seller, I want to do a rent to own and buy this property from you. And we'll do it as a lease agreement and then allow me to sublet it. So then, oh, by the way, I'm going to take care of the maintenance and repairs. So let's say, for example, the market rent's 2,500, and the seller knows that. So Mr. Seller, since we're going to take care of the maintenance repairs, I want to do 2,250 a month. Okay. And then what I'll do is find my tenant buyer, and I'll have my tenant buyer. He's going to become a rent to own owner, and I'm going to bump him up $250 a month. So I'm getting $500 a month cash flow. And you're doing it as a lease option, a rent to own. So technically, the deed's still in the seller's name, so you don't have to worry about the due on sales clause. You're controlling it through a lease option agreement, and then you just file a notice of interest against the property so the seller can't take a loan out or sell the property from underneath you, so you're protecting yourself. So that's a great, in some of these markets, that's a great strategy. And then you have other markets where the 1% rule does work. Matt, you want to tell people what the 1% rule is? For rentals, do you have an idea what that is?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
yeah.
that is.
So whenever say your rent is $1,000, you need it to be at least $100, right? 10%. So say a house is $100,000, you need a rent of $1,000.
You got it. So that's how a lot of us investors, when we look at our rentals, and in some markets like the Florida market, the Phoenix market, even some of the Texas markets are having a problem because the prices went up so much. Now the prices are coming down. I want to talk about something real quick. And I don't know if I should be doing a little scolding session here. But, somebody brought a deal somebody was running a deal by me. Young kid, really nice kid, and he asked a question. I'm like, okay, I'll give you some advice on it. He goes, all right, they want $179,000 for this purchase for this property, right? I'm going to offer them $149,000 cash, but my seller financing, I'm going to give them $215,000. I'm like, 215,000? They're asking $179,000. Why would you want to pay that much more? Now, you as an investor, you want to sell it to your tenant buyer that way, but as an investor, and you're taking a property down, you don't want to pay more than that for that property. So just be cautious. Some of these people out there saying, "Oh, these young," it was this young kid over on TikTok. There's like 20, 22, 23-year-old telling these people, "Oh, overpay for the property," and just doing something. I'm like, whoa. So, anyways, I wanted to put that out there because I couldn't believe what some of these people are putting out there doing that stuff. So, anyways, any
People are
questions?
learning. Yeah, we have iPhone 12 Max Pro is actually Lucy. She's just asking if there's a way to watch us later on, so on and so forth, because she's actually at work, and Stephanie is saying the same thing. So if you guys are in the Seller Financing Homes Facebook group, You can go watch it there. It'll be in the featured tab at the top. So if you're over on Facebook right now, welcome in. You guys are also paying attention, and you guys are feel free. I put the link in the chat to hop over here on Zoom. And then also, if you guys would like to learn more about Mark's mentorship program, Mark has a mentorship program where he teaches others in a group setting how to become someone that invests in seller financing properties that people need help getting rid of. He helps teach you how to walk through this creative financing path to help them out and also to help you out. And if you are looking to get your first property or 10th or 100th property, we have people at all various levels. But we always recommend having some real estate experience at some level because we try to teach you a little bit more, a little bit more in depth with the when it comes to different terms and so on and so forth. So Mark's crushing it with it. We've got students that are closing deal after deal after deal, month after month. What's the didn't someone close like 15 deals in 1 month?
Well, oh, you know what? I didn't tell you this one, Matt. Mary Lou, she just closed a 80 unit adult living facility. 80
80
unit. I mean,
unit,
80 beds, 80 beds.
80 beds. Wow, that's
She just
huge.
closed, not this past Friday, Friday before. You know, she's
That's
the one that
like
quit. Yeah. That's pretty impressive. And
some
it
of those
was,
are like 1,000, 1,500 bucks a month just for a bed.
more than that.
Oh,
It's like
really?
upwards. Oh yeah, it's upwards of like I want to say $4,500 per bed.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah. So it was her first one. So she was working on it. So I'm very impressed with it. And it had a seller financing component in it. So I was very
80 of them. Wow.
that's impressive, huh?
That
I gotta have her
that's
do a
that's
video.
more than
I gotta get her
impressive.
on
That's
here.
really
I gotta
impressive.
get her on here sometime. Yeah. So and then Kyle, he's doing he'll be at 30 doors in 30 doors within 2 years. And so he's at 28 right now. So he's got two more to go by the end of the year. He'll get it.
Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So he's doing really well. And he's just turned 30.
man.
Just turned 30, just got married, you know.
Probably going to retire soon.
Yeah, he's doing really
Retire,
well,
you know.
you know. So he's doing really well with it. So he had 28 units he was negotiating, but that deal fell apart. And that was going to be a master lease option, you know. So yeah, most
Wow.
of these guys come in the program, they're in it for anywhere between 4 to 6, 8 months, and then they're off out there doing stuff on their own, and they're just crushing it now. So I'm really, really happy for all those guys. So
That's amazing.
yeah,
All
but
right,
I'm surprised Mary Lou did that one. What's that? You had a question?
I'm gonna put a link in here, and this is so people can hop on and schedule a call with us, just to see if it's something that we can do to help them out. There it is. I'm just trying to figure. Actually, that's not it. Where's the? I lost my link. There it is.
Back.
There we go. Yep. So I'm gonna put this link in the chat. Go on here, fill this out, schedule a call with us, and see if it's a good fit for you. There's no sales on the call. It's just to see if the program's a good fit for you and see if we can help you out in your real estate journey and see if Mark can help you crush it in different ways. Because you know, Mark also like real estate's his main driver, but seller financing it's pretty good around the board. Mark's doing some crazy stuff. I mean, you're doing it with mobile home parks, right?
Yeah. Yep. We did mobile home park. We did seller financing that one. I mean, there's so many different ways you can do deals in seller financing. I mean, I've done a land development deals. I helped two brothers. I did a land development deal where the seller wanted 1.5 million for the piece of land, and he ended up getting 3.1 because every time we sold a lot off, we ended up building 49 homes on there with zero down. We used his land as the leverage, you know,
Wow.
and he ended up making more money doing that. I mean, we've helped these two brothers buy a plumbing business. So once you understand these different type of seller financing strategies, you can use them for pretty much anything. I know some people even use them buying cars, luxury type of cars nowadays. I'm not big in luxury cars. I prefer more of an asset that's going to appreciate versus an asset depreciating. but I guess some cars will appreciate, you know, you know, I don't
Some
know.
of them are.
I'm not a big car guy. When I was a kid, I was. I used to be out there washing my car all the time and knew every little nick and cranny on my car. But now it's just like I prefer to put it into real estate and watch the real estate asset go up. You
Yep,
know,
yep.
kind
I
of
totally
be that type
understand
of.
that. Totally understand that. I don't. I have a nice truck, but I don't take care of it as like I should when it comes to washing it. So it's like, why should I spend a lot of money on it? You know, it's just another car that's depreciating. But I told, when it comes to the maintenance side of things, how are you doing the maintenance when it comes to seller financing?
Well, most of the time I'm having them. It depends on my exit strategy. So if I'm selling it as a lease option, my tenant buyers are responsible for the maintenance and repairs. Up to any, but if it's something major, like a roof, something on those lines, then I will responsible, or sometimes depending on how I structure it with the seller, they may be responsible for it. But typically, when I'm looking at a property, if I see a property that's going to need some repairs, I offset that like in the down payment. Like I may sell it as a handyman and special instead. I had one where a roof actually needed to be replaced. And I sold it to a gentleman that was a roofer. And I know he could end up doing a roof a lot cheaper than I could. So instead of like, hey, instead of $70,000 down, I wanted $30,000 down and you fixed the roof. And he could probably do it at a lot cheaper cost. And he got it done for like, I don't know, I want to say like $5,000, $6,000 just for whatever his materials were. That's just one example. Um, but usually, and if it's an older home and I'm selling as a lease option, I usually will buy a home warranty that will take care of the like any type of the major stuff, the hot water, the AC, HVAC, if there's a septic. The reason why is because oftentimes when somebody's buying your properties from you and you're selling it to them as a rent to own, and if something breaks within a couple months, they're not going to have the money to fix it if it's something major. So you want to put some type of protection in place because they put all that money in their option fee to buy that property that you're selling them. So
Now,
just
how
be
much does
cautious
like
of
a
that.
home warranty cost like that?
They're pretty cheap, anywhere $500 to $700. It's so worth it. Just make sure you go with a good company. But if it's a newer home or if it's been fully remodeled or updated, you don't have to really do that. So just look at the property, look at it and just see how, if you feel, if it's an older home and something may break, it's just a peace of mind. So you don't have to worry about it and they don't have to worry about it. It's just usually I'll do that for the first 12 months, the first year.
Okay, awesome. I never thought about the home warranty side of things. Okay.
It helps on older homes. And the other thing, what I do though, is I make it one of the agreements in there. I do the seller, if anything it goes bad in the first 45 days, the seller is responsible. Because a lot of times when you buy a property, they could be hiding something from there and you don't know what's going on. I had one where we did purchase a property and I didn't know, we tested everything, but we didn't run the dishwasher. Well, when the new tenant buyer took the property, the people who lived there before never ran a dishwasher. When they ran the dishwasher all backed up and went all over inside the kitchen. And come to find out, that particular pipe going out to the septic system was all blocked, and that would have probably cost us close to $15,000. But the seller ended up taking care of it himself. He was pretty handy, and he got his buddy out there, and they end up doing it. But for me, I'm not. I don't go out there and work on septics. So, but
Okay.
that's another little clause I put in my agreement. So, all right.
All right. So I'm sitting here scrolling through the seller financing homes group, right? What is the best way for someone to benefit out of this group?
The best way to benefit from the group is get in there and start asking questions, especially if you're new. No, don't be afraid. Ask questions. Um, that's how you're gonna learn. Is just get in there, ask questions. Even though I do this once a week on Mondays, you're more than welcome to jump in. But if you have a question and you're on the phone and you just talk to a seller and you, instead of waiting next week, and just throw it into the group and ask a question. Hey, I had this question. Seller asked this question. I don't know the answer. What's the best way of going about this? So just make sure you utilize the group as best as possible. And then if you're looking to buy it, if you're already an experienced investor, I mean, get in there and start looking for some good deals. Just try to now, yes, there's some of the wholesalers in there that are not doing the best deals, but you can always negotiate with them. So keep that in mind. Just kind of go out there and just make sure you pick a good deal and do your due diligence on it. But the group is good. Get in there, ask questions. What do we have? How many members in there now? I think 100 and something. I don't even remember. I can't.
182,000.
182,000 members.
Yep.
So, and a lot of these guys are doing some serious deals in there. Some of these guys that have been in it in a while are killing it, doing really well in there. So they're always buying deals, selling deals. Even a really good friend of mine up in Orlando bought a deal from the group. I didn't even know about it. We started talking. He goes, I ended up buying a deal that I found in the group. I'm like, what? You didn't tell me about that? So yeah, he bought a seller financing deal up in Orlando out of it, and he's doing really well with that particular property. And he's a close friend of mine. I've known him for 20 years. He was a realtor.
So there
So
are some good deals in there.
yeah. Oh, 100%. There's some great deals in there. Yep. And there's a lot of capital partners in there too. Just be careful, like asking for private money, and look at the profile, make sure they've been around, and never give your personal information out without checking them. And then also never pay upfront fees. So just be careful of that, because we do our best to try to keep fake lenders out, especially Sunday nights. Be very cautious on Sunday nights. That's when we get hit the hardest. We remove about 200 to 400 posts daily from the group before they don't even make it in there. We review every single post that gets posted, and then certain keywords get flagged as well in the comments. So we review those to try to keep the group clean. I mean, the group is pretty clean compared to if you go to some of the other groups. You'll see a lot of like skip tracing and this and that, and fake lenders and selling this and selling that, and a girl's on there trying to. I'm looking, coming in there. I'm new to this, and I'm looking, for just be cautious of that. So it's a lot of work that what we do is keep the group clean and people. So hopefully you guys get value. And there's something in there that you think we need and that will help. Let us know. We're always open. So come on, who's got some questions here? I think everybody's
Oh,
new, just sitting back and watching. A lot of
yeah.
everybody. Last time we had a lot of questions because people were out there. But you're right. When we take a week off, it takes a little bit to kind of warm back up.
Yep. Yep. We don't have
Yeah.
anything over on Facebook yet. Someone just mentioned how they love Florence, Italy. So,
I'm not getting anything where over they love Italy on
yeah,
Facebook.
it was from earlier. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love Italy. Italy is my Matt. I highly, highly recommend if you haven't been, you have to go.
I'll definitely go one of these days. Definitely. I got lot to do right now until I can really travel well. So,
What?
okay, that's a good thing. So once you get going, and when can you really start traveling as as someone that is looking to, get better in life? Like once they get financially set, when can they start traveling?
Depends on what your goals are and what your debt is. But typically, um, we always tell people to leave your job. It's usually a 5-year plan. That's typically what most of us investors we always see. Set yourself up. Some people do it sooner than that, but realistically, if you set your goal up for 5 years and you try to get to that 30 properties, you're going to be getting that passive income coming in, and you're going to have net worth. For me, sorry, I'm always looking for a minimum of $500 a month. So if you take that 500 times 30, that's $15,000 a month passive income coming in. Not counting if you're holding some of those and you're selling them as lease options, you have spreads. You end up having that equity spread coming in the back end. And then you're typically, let me give you an example. Like we had this one girl, she was going to do she was going to assign a seller financing property. She was going to ask for $15,000, but instead of 15,000, 15,000, I'm like, okay, when it's all said and done, how much you going to make? She's going to make, oh, I'm going to probably get about $8,000 to $10,000 in assignment fee. Well, we went through the whole deal analysis, and her staying in that deal for 5 years, she was making $171,000 over 5 years, and she was cash flowing seven. She got money up front. She ended up getting around 12 or 15, I don't remember, 12 or $14,000 down on the front end, cash flowing $775 or something like that. And then she was getting another 90 something thousand on the back end once they pay her off. And that was she sold that as a handyman special. So that's just one deal. So imagine if you had all those deals and you're constantly doing, and that's the beauty of this. All you have to do is like 3 deals a year. You can make much as money off of 3 deals a year than a wholesaler trying to do 20 to 30 deals a year, because they're grinding it more. This, you're doing, being more selective, and you're doing the right deals, and you're getting money up front. That's why I love this. You get money up front, you get money cash flow, and you get money at the end, tomorrow type of money. So that's why I really like the type of seller financing strategies. And when I say seller financing strategies, there's multiple different type of seller financing strategies. You have an agreement for deed, land contract, sandwich lease options, subject to. I don't really recommend that if you're doing it, but that is another one once you understand how to do some of those strategies. Novations, the list goes on. And then you end up, once you start understanding these different strategies, you end up coming up with your own type of strategies and being creative yourself. So typically I'd recommend, put together a game plan, but give yourself, if you want to quit your job and do this and travel and enjoy life, if I don't know where you're at, if you have children, you want to spend time with your children and whatnot, give yourself a 5-year goal. Get the strategies down, start building your portfolio, and then also you can start. There's another whole thing to the seller financing is you have notes. You can, when you create a seller financing, you can sell that note off in the secondary market. For me, I don't want to because I like that passive income, but you can, and you can also sell partial notes off. You can sell, like if you create a note and you want some cash flow to take some more deals down, you can sell off the first 5 years of payments. And then then you can end up at year 5, you get those payments coming in. So once you start understanding how to buy properties through self financing, you can go into another whole level and start doing deals in the notes world. And that's where I go a lot of times to these note conferences to speak, because it's another whole market, and people are buying, selling notes all the time. And now they're getting ready to make the seller financing note part of a blockchain. That's another whole big thing. So that's going to become another whole market. So the seller financing note they're moving it into the blockchain world.
Oh
So,
wow, that'll be huge.
oh yeah. So you can buy, because the problem with the notes world, for you guys Matt, do you understand how the blockchains work?
Mhm.
All right.
Yep.
A lot of people don't understand it. So blockchain, like, let's say, for example, I'm buying a property from Matt. Okay. Matt already has his property in a block, all the documents, everything's inside that. And then now I'm going to take that property over, and now it comes to me. So now at least Matt's block, all in a sense, it's a file. So all the documents and notes and deeds, everything inside of it. And now I'm taking it over. So now I have my block. So it's a chain. So everybody wants to see. Then before Matt's, they can see it. So, and it's open to the whole community. Everybody that's in that blockchain can see what's going on inside of that block. They can see everything, so it's transparent. Well, the problem a lot of times in the seller financing note world, if you sell a partial, let's say you have a note that's worth 100,000. Some people may sell, I'm going to sell 50,000 to this one, 50,000 to that one, 50,000 to that one. They could sell that off 5 times. And you don't know what's going on there. So in a blockchain, everybody's going to see, all right, he's already sold a portion of that 100,000 note off, so there's only this. So it's helping the community to go even further, so that it's going to cut down on the fraud.
Wow. No, I mean that's really going to help for sure. Cut down on the fraud.
And then the thing about it is, you can buy little pieces of it. You can buy like $5,000 of that particular note. So it's going to really, so everybody will see what's going on in that whole. So it's exciting times.
Wow. So that's just going to open up. That's really going to open the door for a lot of opportunity.
Oh, yeah. So you can see everything that's going on. And then, and instead of, like, if you want to, you create that note, right? And you create the whole thing, you can sell that into the block. It's going to be inside the blockchain. So, all right, I got this note for sale. Who wants to buy it? So, but you guys at the front end are originating all this stuff, and you'll be able to sell it for premiums and make money off it. Besides making money off the real estate, you're also making money in the note world.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now you got my mind thinking. Like now you got me. Now you got me in a whole nother world.
because you understand that world, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
what they're everybody in the industry, in the seller financing, or not just seller financing, in the private note world, outside the institution, because it's a $9 billion a year seller financing world in the notes. 9 billion.
A
So it
lot.
might even be, it actually might be, actually, I'm sorry, I think it's a lot more than that. I'm gonna ask ChatGTP on that. I think it is a lot more than that. I think I messed up on that.
It's
So
still a
let
lot
me
of
see.
money.
What's that?
Still a lot of money.
The private note world, seller financing notes and mortgage notes, how many is that done transaction a year? Nat counting institution. I want to know this number because I do know it, and it's a lot more than 9 billion. Let's see what it is. So, because we also have the mortgage brokers, mortgage bankers association there too. So we always know we're always going over all the different numbers of residential, commercial. Um, I'm sorry, 83 billion.
83
83
billion.
billion. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
So, yeah. So but yeah, it's opening up a whole another world for notes. So it's
Yeah.
interesting how in a blockchain is going to be. It's awesome because everything's transparent inside the block and everybody can see what's inside of it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
a lot of people
awesome.
get confused with how blockchains work.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's a little confusing for some people, for sure.
Hopefully, the way I described it is that people understood it.
Yep. I think you described it very good. Very well. Cool.
All right, guys, we have a couple more minutes. Anybody has any questions? This is good. It was a quiet one, but hopefully people got some knowledge out of this tonight. And but you guys are listening. Somebody new here, what's one thing that you run into that which is scared about? Does anybody want to answer that question? Is there anything here that you're getting into it and you're kind of hesitant, and what's holding you back? Does anybody want to jump in and say or type it in below? Like what's one thing that's holding you back right now of trying to move forward? I know I I love to get a question like that because it happens to everybody that starts out. But if not, we'll just you guys can be more than happy and join us next Monday. We do the next one, and I'm sure we'll get some more people in there. It's good when people are asking questions because everybody can learn from it. That's really why we love having those questions. We had the one earlier today at 5:30. There was a ton of questions. We actually ended up running over timeline because there's a lot of questions on it. It was pretty
Yep.
good.
That one at 5:30 is your private mentorship. So it's
Yeah,
the people
and
are
a lot. Yeah,
there.
there's
Those people are hungry. Hungry.
yeah, and funny thing about it is we did have a probate one today. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
What's her name? Jody? Is that her name?
Jody, yep.
Yep. Yes. She went and knocked on the door. She did
Oh,
door
really?
knocking. Yep. And because the grass is overgrown or something like that, and so she's dealing with the siblings probate, and so that was we did that one today. So there's quite a bit of stuff that went over today on that one.
Awesome.
And then somebody was asking, um, you probably don't know this one. Have you ever heard of the terminology straw buyer?
No.
Anybody listening to us know what a straw buyer is?
Nope. There's
Google
no
it.
idea.
Pull it up. Google what a straw buyer is.
All
Hold on.
right.
This is going to be another one.
Straw
Straw
buyer.
buyer. What a straw buyer is. So one of the members came up with an idea, and I'm like, well, I got good credit. Can I go out there and buy property and then turn around and sell it?
Someone who legally purchases a product or service on behalf of another person who is unable or unwilling to buy it themselves. The practice is often used in illegal activities. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
You learn something I know. So he was like, I got good credit. I want to go. He was new, an agent buyers for something. No, Matt, he's saying an agent. Read it one more time what a straw buyer is. So he didn't hear you correctly.
Yeah. So a straw buyer is someone who legally purchases a product or service on behalf of another person who is unable or unwilling to buy it themselves. So
And
the practice is often used in illegal activities, such
yeah,
as
it's
when
illegal.
a legal buyer acquires a firearm, or someone who is prohibited from owning them, or in real estate where a straw owner holds a title for a hidden owner. That's not good.
You learn something new. So he's like, I got good crap. I'm gonna go start buying homes out for these people, and I want to sell it. I want to find out that somebody's got a good down payment, and I'll go out and buy a property for him and put it in my name. I go, why don't you Google what a straw buyer is? Coming from the mortgage banking world, that's you learn that really quickly.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never knew that. Yep.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Well, okay.
All right, let's wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah. So, guys, I just want to thank you guys for joining. Mark does have a mentorship program. I'm posting the link in the chat. So feel free to schedule a call with us. It's a no sales call just to see if you're a good fit for the community. We will make sure we can help you get started in real estate, whether it is as a beginner or as someone that already has a few deals under their belt and they're looking to get out there and stop putting 20% down. They can put down less than 5%, sometimes $0, or even $100. We want to help you find that way, and we can do that. Just schedule a call with us, and we are here for you. I put the link there below, sellerfinancing.com/call, and we can help you out.
Thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate it.
And
We'll see
find
you
us
guys
in the
next week.
Seller Financing Homes Facebook group. We'll see you guys there.